Let's go. Yo, I'm like an addict, ooh, I gotta have it. I ain't even playing, got a really bad habit. If it moves, gotta grab it, fuse like a magnet. Lose, won't have it till I'm doomed in a casket. I ain't playing, got a weird mind. If you work 8 hours, I'ma work 9. If the shit tastes sour, you should taste mine. I'ma stay in power for a long time. Get up, nah, I ain't a quitter. Toss me the ball, I'm a really big hitter. Big picture.
Right, what is up, guys? The generator is now back and back with a vengeance. This is going to be part one of a video where sorry, part one of the videos where we really start to tackle the car and see if we can fix at least one or two of the faults on this vehicle, if not all of them. Yo, that'll be nice. But yeah, basically what we're going to do today is run a diagnostic on the vehicle to see if there's anything we really need to worry about, and you know, if there's anything that can explain why this car has a few issues that have that have come up over the years. Like, for example, she just doesn't feel like she has full power at the moment. I'm not sure why that is. Also, there's this weird stutter when she's idling. Again, you know, we suspect injectors and those kind of things, but at the moment it's hard to tell. So what we're going to do now is we're going to sit in the vehicle and then we're going to run a diagnostic, and I'm also going to show you how to do that, and then we'll take it from there. Okay, so basically what you want to do is get yourself one of these. This is a dongle that's got an OBD plug on it, and it basically plugs into any modern vehicle past a certain date, any vehicle with an OBD2 port, and we're basically going to use this. Don't get a cheap one. You will have seen ones that look exactly like this on Temu and certain places, and they'll be like $50, $100. They're not going to do the same thing that this can. This is not a very expensive tool, mainly because the interface that you use to interact with the vehicle is usually your phone screen or something like that can connect to this via Bluetooth. Whereas you get some advanced models that come with a tablet of their own, and they have a bit more features than this, but this is pretty much spot on for our purposes. It also works well for my business. It's not very cheap. This is like about $5,000, somewhere around there. Not too sure what the current pricing is. It might be a bit cheaper now actually, but this was, I think it cost me about $5,000. And this ThinkDiag tool is basically what's gonna plug into the OBD port and give us all the information that we need. I know a lot of you guys at home are sometimes skeptical or afraid of diagnostics. I know it can be a bit intimidating, but I'm going to show you now. If you have one of these, it's really not that difficult to interact with and to sort of just plug in and get some information on your car. So the way we're going to do this is we're going to plug down there. I'll show you. I'll insert a picture now here of what the diagnostic port looks like, but it's basically underneath there on the right hand side. But that's for this car, but every vehicle will have its own location, you know, somewhere around here underneath, or sometimes even on the passenger side, for the diagnostic port basically. And then when you find that, you're going to take this guy, plug him in there. With this vehicle specifically, it's a bit tight down there, so you need an extension which looks like this. And so the extension plugs in here. Sorry, I'm trying to do this one-handed. Sorry, I should mention while this guy is trying to connect this thing that if you purchase one of these tools, you also need an active subscription with whichever company you've bought it from to keep it up to date and keep running diagnostics. Shot. Yeah, now basically you take this and you take this end and you plug it into the diagnostic port, and from there you'll be able to scan your ECU, and hopefully if it's not some rare, you know, unheard of ECU or a very rare vehicle, most diagnostic tools will communicate with most make and model vehicles of most years that have the OBD2 port. So we're going to plug this in now, and then I'll show you how to run a diagnostic. Alright, because now we don't have a second camera, because it's also a busy day while we're filming, What you should be seeing on your screen now is just my phone screen, and I'm now in the Think Car app. And as I said, this dongle, this Bluetooth dongle for diagnostics, it doesn't come with a screen that you use like as a tablet. So I'm basically I've downloaded the app, and I'm basically using my phone to interact with it via Bluetooth, and that's where I'm at now, inside the app. I'm going to go into all systems, diagnostic for the generator. I'm just going to show you how you can VIN scan and pick up usually automatically just the VIN number of the vehicle, and it'll go into scan automatically. But with the generator, I don't think it's going to do that, but I'll show you because I do have the VIN number in here somewhere already. Yeah, see, now it's saying that it's failed and I need to enter the VIN manually. So yeah, here we go. So now I'm just going to scan the vehicle. Just follow the prompts, guys. For basically, some of these tools might be slightly different on how you interact with the vehicle, what menus you select, how you go into it. But basically, you follow the prompts. Just use this, this thing we have called common sense, and you'll find out pretty quickly how to access what you need to access. So yeah, I'm gonna go into. I don't need to do system scan because I'm not doing live diagnostics yet. I will use that later on. System selection. Again, if we're doing live diagnostics, we'll be able to select which system specifically. And then special functions, those are like if you need to do certain coding functions on the vehicle, if you need to reset service lights, all those kind of things. So all I'm going to do is go into status report now, and that should give us a full health report of the vehicle. What you want to do is at this point have your ignition on, but the vehicle must be switched off. And yeah, no fault codes on the engine. 510,000 on the clock. There we go. Some faults here. Climate control module, electronic central electric. So what we're going to do is now let it get to 100%, and then we'll go into the report and see what's the problem. So if you want to run diagnostics on your car, it's as simple as that, guys. You just select some menus and then basically get the information. And mechanics and other guys, they charge you thousands sometimes for things like this, but yet it's so simple. But fair enough, they're charging you for their experience, and you wouldn't know how to interpret some of these things. But with a lot of these, you'll see it's self-explanatory. So yeah, basically 9 of the systems that it's scanned, basically 9 of the modules have abnormalities, and 9 of them, basically the rest of them are normal. What I'm pleased about is engine electronics doesn't have any faults. That module doesn't have any faults in it. But as you'll see later, live logging a vehicle will also show you if something doesn't necessarily have a solid fault on it, but it's some component that might be failing slightly, and that's still something that requires your attention. But basically, we're going to go into the report now. Before we clear, we want to see what's actually wrong with the vehicle. Then we can, make a decision if we want to clear or if it's pointless to clear the faults. But basically, we're going to see the DTCs now. In other words, the diagnostic trouble codes. That's what DTC stands for. Cool. Comfort system central. If you see on the climate control here, no signal or communication. We're gonna have to see about that. Yeah, where it says no signal, or communication with the engine control module, with the central control module, all those kind of things. Even basically this first one here with the climate control. Don't stress about that. Those kind of things at certain times they just occur, especially with Audis. The modules just sometimes have miscommunication, and it's it basically throws a fault. With the generator as well, we have flashed it before because it has an EGR delete on its software, and it has an intake flap delete as well, because those are 2 troublesome components, and I basically wanted to delete them off the system. So yeah, basically all these faults are things that you can look at on your car as well to get to them. Like all the window stuff, passenger door electronics, left rear door, right rear door, sound system, all these things are things that I already know about on this car, and they need fixing step by step. But what I basically wanted to check with this is if the engine control has any faults, the engine control module has any faults on it, and it doesn't. So yeah, we're good there. I'm gonna clear these. A lot of them will come back, but most likely these missing communication faults here will go away. So I'm gonna show you how you do that. You just go back to where you were and select here where it says clear DTCs. And yeah, are you sure? Yes, I am. And basically it's gonna clear all the faults on the system. And sometimes there are hard faults that can't be cleared. Most of the time you can clear them, and what can go away will go away. What's meant to be there will come back. What's meant to be will be. Yeah. So what is actually wrong with the car will come back, but most of these faults will probably clear anyway. It's an old car. Sometimes they develop some missing communication, between the modules and stuff like that. So clearing memory is complete. Yeah, as you can see, the only things that did come back are the problems with the doors. And guys, this car has problems with its left and right rear windows and the tail light, those kind of things. So yeah, we know about those things. I'm just happy there aren't any real massive engine faults that will render this thing unusable, because this is my daily driver. It's my business vehicle. But yeah, this is basically how you run diagnostics on a vehicle, guys. I hope this has shown you something, and you can get a dongle of your own now and run some diagnostics on your car. So yeah, peace. Sorry, actually not peace yet. What we're gonna do now is I'm gonna run some live diagnostics on the vehicle as well. So you'll probably catch me in the next clip. Okay, so you join me now in poor lighting conditions. Dude, it's like this all over my complex. I've tried turning the car around, left, right, center, up, down. At some point I even did the Casper slide. People are looking at me like I'm stupid here in this complex, but I'm just trying to get good lighting. Okay, anyways, it's like this. It's just gonna have to be like this for now. We persevere, okay? Now that we've got a health report on the vehicle, right, I'm gonna take the same diagnostic tool. Instead, now I'm gonna go into the live data and try and see, some vital signs, just to make sure nothing's extremely bad on this vehicle. You will have heard people say things like, "Oh, you must, hey boss, when you're testing, you must log the vehicle." Yeah, we're gonna log the vehicle now. So I'm gonna go into like the injectors, maybe MAF sensor. I don't know if this allows you to monitor boost pressure. I think it's like maybe 1.1 bar for a motor of this age, a TDI. But yeah, basically some vital signs. And let's see if we had enough budget by now. By the time you're watching this video, it'll come on the side of the screen or somewhere. Okay, right off the bat, the injectors are looking fine. Whatever the case may be, let's go check the car out. We'll leave the logging equipment here and let's go for a drive, my bro. Yeah. So right off the bat, you can feel there that this car is actually a piece of... Right, this guy sort of just moderately driving now. Yeah, you guys are going to be shaking quite a bit for now until I get to like a smooth road. Nice. Let's see what she's got. So I'm doing some full throttle testing now, just to see what the MAF sensor will log. Yeah, so we're still going down the road here. Everything seems fine with the vehicle. As I said, it just seems to be lacking some power, lacking some boost. I'm not sure why that is. Sorry, I have to open the windows because the aircon doesn't work. But yeah, turbo's been reconned. So many things have been done here. Yeah, I'm not sure what else to do, but yeah, so this is part one. Okay, so let's see. Just gonna turn around here and give it the beans. That's full throttle. It's quite underwhelming. Still underwhelming. It's not bad, it's just I need to know what's wrong with this car. I've been testing it and running diagnostic after diagnostic for the longest time. But now that we're gonna, make it a proper project, let's see what we come up with. Let's see. Let's see if anything in the data reflects, something obvious that might need to be changed or something obvious that's broken with the vehicle. It's like, where have all the horses escaped to? But yeah, you know what? I suspected it's a MAF sensor for quite some time. I've suspected maybe it's the turbo, but let's see. Let's see. You never know with these things. So we're going back home now. I'm going to analyze the data and see what if there's anything we've noticed. And indeed, notice some things we did. So let me just freeze your screen quickly. Okay, so I'm not going to get into too much detail right now, but all you need to know for now is that MAF sensor readings are perfectly fine. The injectors, as long as they aren't above or below positive or negative 2, it means the injectors are within range and they're not working too hard to leave the crankshaft spinning in a balanced fashion. If you add all those numbers in milligrams per hour as well, you will see that they add somewhere close to 0, so you know that everything's balanced. And their data block 0, 1, 0, we're not really going to use that for now. We're only going to use 0, 1, 1 in terms of actual versus specified. So we're going to wait for this guy now to shift gears, and then we're going to see something. There we go, he shifted. Now if you take a look at specified, it's just going to go higher than actual for a second there. And then now look, when he's at full throttle and he's well within boost now we see that actual is a couple hundred whatever millibars above where it needs to be in terms of specified. And that's a problem. That means that one of the arms or valves or whatever the actuator on the turbo uses to regulate boost is probably stuck, because first of all, when specified is a bit higher, it's taking too long to respond, and then when everything's open, it's probably staying open too long and causing a boost pressure spike. When it causes a boost pressure spike, that's probably why the ECU is pulling some power, either because it can't supply the fuel that's demanded, or more than likely it's because it's just not fitting in with what it's specified, so it's pulling power. That could explain why the vehicle feels so underpowered, but I don't know. Let's check in the future. But yeah, turbo is definitely something we need to check on this car. And don't stress if you are seeing that these numbers are way too high. They are in the thousands because remember, millibar you need to divide by 1,000, so it's actually 2.2 and 2.4 there. And then don't worry, my car's not making like 2.4 bars of boost. You also need to subtract, remember this is actual boost readings, so you need to subtract atmospheric pressure for you to get what you would see on a boost gauge. So if you subtract 1 bar from that, you will get 1.2 and 1.4. So 1.2 bar is perfectly fine for a diesel motor. 1.4 is a bit high, so it's probably seeing that that's a boost pressure spike and cutting power. So definitely in the future, turbo is one of the things that we will definitely replace on this car. Yeah, but then let's get back to the video, guys. Right, we're back in the bat cave now. I don't have a bat cave, I just have a garage. So yeah, we're back here now. It's a very hot, humid day, so I'm looking like I put Vaseline on my face. No aircon in this car, obviously. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna analyze the data. We're gonna go through various things. Let this be part 1 of maybe the build that finally fixes the generator. If you like and subscribe and share this video, and basically keep following the content and stuff like that, it really helps me. It helps me to be able to create more and just make more awesome content for you guys. But thank you so much for watching. We're gonna get into some strategies now to see what's the next steps with this vehicle. But yeah, I'm back. We're gonna be working now. So sorry for being away for so long, but yeah,
Here we go.
Big hitter, big picture, I'm a straight killer. Rising the song to the highest bidder. Got juice, got gas, I'ma move fast. New shoes, new tracks, like who's that? I'm new, come back, better than last. Yeah, it's a new me, never gonna look back. I'm never gonna look back. Cause damn, I was built to last. You move slow and I move fast, and that's fast.